Hello and welcome to Horder, a series that I'm not sure will ever see the light of day, but I'm going to make it anyway. Just have some fun with it. We'll see how it comes out the other side. My fake internet name is Roshnex, and today I'm going to be building a Horde base. Now, my idea for this series is to just creative mode kind of create a Horde base. Hold on a second. Create a Horde base. Um, Measure all of the resources that it takes to make said horde base, do a time-lapse kind of build so that you can see exactly how it's done, if there's terrain modifications required, right, how to place blocks, what kind of blocks, what traps. You can follow along every step of the way. And then at the very end, we're going to pit it against a day 70 horde at a relatively high game stage. I'm not sure what that game stage is going to be just yet, but I want it to be a challenging horde, so that we can kind of see, you know, as you hit the late game in 7 days, how that base would hold up against, kind of the end game content for this game. So I'm going to start this series by making a horde base that worked really well for me. I think it was in the Alpha 17 time frame. I'm not sure if it's going to continue working with the new pathing changes, uh, weapon changes, block changes, all that good stuff. But I'm going to make it anyway and just kind of see if the point scale that I've come up with here is anything reasonable. So the point scale is just going to try to take into account, how many resources you're going to have to use to make each base. I don't want any of these to be too crazy, these big fortresses of you don't have to do anything and kill all the zombies kind of deal. And the way I like to do Horde Night is really involved, gets me kind of front and center in the action, and really the zombie killing is mostly on me because that's how I have the most fun with the game. So that's kind of how my Horde bases are going to be designed. They're going to let the zombies mostly get right up to me, and then kind of rely on my skill to take care of them. So the first base I'm gonna build, it does that pretty well. It was designed to be a sniper kind of base, right? What I wanted to do was channel everything into a relatively narrow hallway and take advantage of the penetrator perk in the perception here. So I wanted to be, taking out 3, 4, 5 zombies with a single shot, just to be really efficient, and also have the capability to deal with demos pretty easily when they started to show up. So that's what I'm going to build today. I'm going to put it on the point scale that I've come up with for this. Just for reference, that point scale to start, I'm going to have all bases start at 100 points. Each base build is going to lose 5 points for every stack of raw iron that we consume. It's going to lose another 5 points for every stack of concrete that we use. And as I said before, I kind of like to be front and center of my bases, so if we decide to build something that's quote-unquote an exploit base and just kind of takes advantage of the zombies' pathing so that they just, you don't have to fire a shot and they'll just run around in circles all night, I'm going to go ahead and take away 10 points for that too, because it's not as fun to me. But, eventually we might try to do some exploit bases, and so I wanted to have something built in to take care of those. Now, all that's going to happen during the build phase. I'm not sure how the layout of each episode is going to be. I might split it into two, where we'll have one episode be the build episode, or the build phase, and the second episode be the fight phase. Some people don't want to see, all the building intricacies. Some people just want to see, the end result, how it fought against the Horde, what its point total was at the end, and if it's something they like, maybe they want to go back and check out the build portion. So in the fight phase, we'll give each base 20 points if they're successful, right? If I live, I'm going to call that successful. Well, stay inside the base and live. I don't want to be running around outside at the end of the night with a horde of zombies chasing after me. I'm not going to call that a success. We'll give each base another 10 points if the player takes 0 damage. So that means really good protection from spitters, not taking swipes through walls, from dogs or from spider monkeys, whatever it is, right? We're going to give each base another 10 points if no repairs are required during the Horde Night. Another 10 points if no blocks are broken. And finally, we'll take away 5 points from each base for every stack of ammo that we consume. Now, the last one there, consuming ammo, it might have to be tailored to the gun that you're using, because, an M60 is going to go through a lot more stacks of ammo than a shotgun. And I don't want to over-penalize a base because a person just likes to use shotguns, So that one might have to be tuned a little bit per weapon. We'll figure that out along the way. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start building. I'm building from memory, so this might not be exactly the base that I had back in the day. But we're going to build it, and we're going to see how it falls on the point system, and see if it's something reasonable. Maybe retune it a little bit after the fact. So, yeah, let's get started. This will give us enough room for dart traps in this first row here that can shoot across. It'll also give us enough room to have some electric fence posts behind the dart traps connecting to electric fence posts going on the other side. This hallway here is not going to be connected to where we'll be standing so as to not mess with zombies pathing. We'll make it nice and strong and have a vault door there that we can close and hopefully dissuade anybody from trying to come through there to get to us, and instead just have everybody come down this main hallway here. So now Now the back here, what we're gonna do is start to come out and around. What we want to do is kind of have maybe 4 or 5 blocks behind where we're gonna be standing, so that their pathing, even if they spawn way back here behind the building, it says, you know, that's too many blocks to go through. It's faster to run all the way around here and then down through the area where we're gonna wind up killing them. So we definitely want to make sure that we have enough room to stand, and we'll put some extra blocks at the back there to try to dissuade the zombies from just busting through the wall behind us. We definitely don't want that to happen. Alright, so that's the general outline of the Horde base. Like I said, I think this outer row at the back here, I think I only needed to come 3 blocks behind. I think that might be a little bit of overkill, and it's going to wind up costing this base a lot of concrete. But we can always figure it out what it would have been later on, or even bring this base back and do the test again later on and see if that little efficiency still lasts through the the 70-day Horde night. So basically what we're going to do now is just fill in this back area full of concrete. We're going to put a roof area over where we're going to be standing and close off where the traps are going to go. And then we'll kind of regroup and think about what traps we're going to have if we want any extra building blocks anywhere, stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see you when it's done. Alright, and just like that, we've got it all filled in with concrete. We have used a substantial amount of resources. Like I said, this is a pretty resource-intensive base, but we were pretty fed up with having to remake a Horde base every 7 days. Felt like we couldn't do anything other than build. So we went all out on this one, and, worked pretty well for us. So let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to do the roof here and how, what requirements we kind of have for our trap layout here. So I think what I want to do is have arrow slits, and they're going to be staggered so that dart traps aren't shooting across the way at each other. So we'll have, a dart trap here. The dart trap in this block will be on the other side. They'll all have arrow slits in front of them. I want to have tripwires on the ground here so that the dart traps and electric fences, or the dart traps are only triggered when zombies are in that space in front of the dart trap. And then I think what we'll have to do to save on space is actually mount the electric fence posts from the ceiling down, because they're 2 blocks tall, and we don't want to have this spread out all that much. We want to have a nice clear walkway here so that if we have to run down and clean up any of these, repair any of these fence posts, we can get to them easily. So to that effect, maybe what we actually want to do is have the door to get into the hallway on the edge here. I think we'll go ahead and do that now. So I think this way will be a little bit better. This way, when you walk into the room, you're already at the pathway that is designed, and you're not, we could put the tripwires over there, but then as you walk up to repair anything, you're actually going to set the dart traps off. And in fact, if we mount the electric fence posts from the ceiling, they're going to take up these 2 blocks, so you couldn't run through this portion of the hallway anyway. So yeah, I think this is going to work out better for us. Plus, a tier 5 auger with max perks and bunch of mods makes really short work of the concrete anyway. So if we're gonna go ahead and mount the fence post from the ceiling, we're gonna need it to be 4 blocks tall here. So let's let's do a little bit of aesthetics here at least, you know? We'll do some ramps instead. And get it kind of looking nice up here. And we can do some ramps along the side too. That'll put the roof tall enough for us. And just make it a little happier up here. We don't need any real roof, like extra blocks up here. But you know, we'll do something because we've got to mount some kind of defense system over top of us here, and preferably something that we can shoot out of to take care of any vultures that show up, or at the very least a spot for some turrets to be up there, so that the turrets won't get distracted by zombies coming up the main path that we've designed here. Okay, so here we have our roof finished now. We have a little area here of iron bars where we can fight off any buzzards that show up. And I think it looks okay. It's not great, but you know, it'll get the job done. I do have a few concerns if birds that spit show up, and those not being able to protect us, but you know, that's a problem for future rush. So let's go ahead and get started on all the traps that we're going to need for this build. So I think for the day 7 Horde, this is gonna be, I mean, obviously it's gonna be fine, right? We're totally entrenched here with a lot of stuff protecting us. Day 7 should be no big deal, but we want to make sure that the zombies aren't trying to hit the back of this wall or climb up over top and hit the bars or something crazy like that. And if that's the case, we'll get a minor tweak before we put the base to the final test on the day 70 Horde. So that's it. That's the build. I'll go ahead and put all of our used supplies in the chest here. Alright, so here's the loadout I'm going to run for this. Nothing too crazy, like I said. Gave myself a full set of tier 6 steel armor here. There's no mods in it, but I don't know that it really matters all that much. I did give myself a tier 6 sniper rifle fully modded with a mag extender, a bipod mod, barrel extender, and a 4x scope. I don't want to zoom in too much just in case they get up close, and it's going to make things get a little bit more difficult if I went with the 8x scope. So we'll give that one a try and see how it goes. Gave myself a bunch of boxes of 7.62. We'll just crack one stack of them. I can't imagine this is gonna be all that intense for day 7, but you never know. We've got some blocks here that haven't quite dried. Again, I just can't imagine that it's gonna be all that important. But if they end up breaking some blocks because we didn't wait until they dried, you know, I just won't include that in the total here at the very end. So we'll power our generators. Make sure that all of our traps are on here. And we'll go ahead and set it to day 7. And get this Horde night started. Alright, right before we get started, I do want to point out I did end up giving myself some concrete mix in case something absolutely needs to be repaired. Of course, our objective here is just to survive the Horde night and play like we would any other day. I also gave myself some repair kits in case my rifle gets too low, and some steel in case we need to repair either of our hatches here. I also gave myself a light mod in case it gets too dark. I know YouTube doesn't like dark video. So, here we go. Also, we are on, let's see, we're on game stage 90, day 7. So, I'm really not expecting them to do anything crazy here. Probably the traps are going to kill them, to be honest with you, but I should probably reload, huh? I mean, we got some cops showing up. That's just the game stage bringing those guys along, but I don't know if we'll see any irradiated or anything like that. I don't hear anybody beating on our back walls here. They're kind of all funneling in exactly like we expected them to. I do think for the day 70 Horde, I'll probably give myself another rifle to load with AP 7.62. That was the strategy that I had even for the original Horde night that I built this base. Make sure that cop's dead. Was having 2 guns just to make sure that, oh geez, that blade trap's dead already. Just to make sure that when the demo showed up, you know, I had a quick way and reliable way to deal with them. Make sure that we were getting that armor penetration through their helmets, so that we didn't, you know, set off their bomb or anything like that. All right, I think we've proven that this is gonna work just fine. So let's go ahead and clean these guys up. I think, want to get some plates here, just to make sure that the spider monkeys and dogs can't get through here. Are we quite finished? Alright, we do need to actually be a little bit careful because our tripwires and dart traps, which weren't even loaded, are still powered when the generator is on. So let's just go ahead and step out here, give that blade trap a repair. That's the last of them. All right, we'll tidy this up. We'll get some darts in the traps. We'll actually get them up to reinforced concrete, which they should have been already. We'll get some plates back here on top of this. Get them drying, and top everything up. Set it to day 70. Get ourselves another sniper rifle and see how this base holds up. That's the end of the build phase, everybody. Hope you enjoyed watching this one get put together. I named it the Rifter, just kind of a throwback to my time in EVE Online. Kind of looks like the Minmatar frigate. I don't know. Anyway, as I said at the beginning of the video, each base is going to start with a 100-point pool. This one consumed 22 stacks of concrete, kind of a lot, so it lost 110 points for that. It also consumed 2 stacks of iron. That's just based on how much raw iron each of the things that I used that would have forged iron in it or whatever else would have used. So that's another 10-point deduction, and that puts the base total at minus 20. Now I'm just kind of making this up off the top of my head, right? So I don't know if negative 20 is a good starting point or not. This was an expensive base, and so maybe that's just where it deserves to fall. So we're going to see how it does in day 70 Horde Night and see if it can claw its way back into the positive numbers. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next one.